Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
It's time! Tonight's main event is scheduled for one 30-minute interview. Interviewing out of the blue corner, the Coffee and Kalos crew. Being interviewed out of the red corner, Juggernaut Devin Webber. Hey, Devin, thanks for joining us today.
What's up, guys?
So do you hear the Bruce Buffer or do you not hear the Bruce Buffer when we do that?
Do I hear it? I hear it.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I just wanted to make sure.
Listen, I can only do so much. I was not gifted the voice that Mr. Buffer was. That's my best attempt.
Hey,
So
I thought it sounded good.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
before we get into the content, I gotta ask, why did you change your last name?
What do you mean?
You look exactly like Grant Dawson.
Oh, yeah, we just had quite a bit, actually.
You guys look like you could definitely be brothers, like 100%. And I'm like, dude, so I was like, I gotta ask this before we do actually get into the content part, because I looked up the picture. So he had asked us if we would interview you and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I look up the picture and I'm like, this is Grant Dawson. We just interviewed him. What's he talking about?
Yeah, the first story I actually had with that, I came up to the gym about 18 months ago, and I just started training there. And I was going to one of the guys, he owns like a auto store. I was going up to the shop, and his daughter came up to me, and I was talking to the guys, and she was like, "Oh yeah, and your brother goes there, right?" I was like, "No, I just moved here. I don't know anybody up here." She was like, "The guy coaching class isn't your brother?" She was like, "I thought you guys were twins." And like ever since then, it's just we've got it constantly.
Yeah, I think that you could definitely pass for twins. Like, not identical. I wouldn't say you're identical, but
At least brothers.
It's damn near
Yeah.
close.
And we had like pictures of us as kids. Like we have a group chat, and we just posted them in there. And literally, we looked even more alike when we were younger. It was crazy.
Is that how you guys became so close? You just saw each other and you guys both just did like a double take? You're like, whoa, you kind of look me.
So when I first got there, I had to like kind of, come into a new gym. Glory's pretty big. I kind of had to prove myself. So at first, like I didn't talk to a lot of people. And then Grant came and cornered me for my first fight with Glory down in Wichita. And then ever since then, we were super close. We hit it off real well.
Yeah, he had high praise for you when he came on our show, and he said that you guys are eerily similar. So not only are you similar in looks, but apparently your fight styles are similar as well.
Yeah. I actually try to fight a lot like him, and I mean, dude's a monster, so it's a good person to emulate.
So typically the first question we ask is all about the nickname. How'd you get the nickname? And before we started, we asked you, and you're working on a transition from Captain America to Juggernaut. I debuted the Juggernaut beforehand. At the end, we're gonna debut it in the middle, and then send a poll out to the fans, see which one they like better. Tell us about this transition to Juggernaut.
Okay, so when I first started, I was like pretty much just only a wrestler. I didn't know much striking, nothing. So the guys at my first gym would call me All-American, because they didn't really know my name, so that's just what they called me. And then it kind of just transitioned to Captain America. I liked it. I was a young kid, so I kind of ran with it. I used to wear like a hoodie with a mask out to walk out and stuff. And then as I grew up, it was just like I focused more on the fighting instead of the antics, and it kind of just fell off, and I just was going by my name. And the guys at the gym were just like, they kind of thought I fought like a juggernaut, I guess, and they thought it fit for me. So we're trying it out, seeing how it works.
Well, I was gonna say, I saw the Instagram post of you wearing the Captain America like hoodie and everything. So you're gonna get like a new costume in mind for Juggernaut? Is that gonna be like your new thing? You come out in the costume?
I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. I try to have a little fun with it. It'll probably be more of a weigh-in thing, but.
So where were you training before Glory? Like, was it a smaller gym, like local where you were living? And then if it was a smaller gym, like what's it like to make a jump from like a small local gym to something with bigger with, James Krause and Megan Anderson and like these big names that train there regularly?
Yeah, so I was training at a small gym in Wichita, Kansas. It's called Griffey Muay Thai, ran by Ron Griffey. And I still love those guys to get death. And I mean, they helped me grow a lot. It's just like I was hitting a point to where we weren't having enough training partners, and I was just like kind of getting stagnant in my life in general, and so I kind of just needed a change of scenery, and just moved out to Kansas City, quit my job, and came out there. And then once I got there, it was just like a culture shock. Like, you come in, you work hard, there's big names, but they're doing the exact same thing you're doing. No one gets special treatment, and it's just grinding from the time you get there till the time you leave.
So are you now full-time training and everything?
Yeah, I train, twice a day. We go twice a day, and then we have strength and conditioning before practice on Tuesday and Thursdays, and then you pick up, pad sessions, personals throughout the week when you get time. So
I think that's what's so cool about MMA is, like if you're looking at the NFL, if you're a star on an NFL team, like veterans don't have to practice as much as the rookies. Like in football, they have like there's like a veteran pass basically that if there's 30 practices, they might only have to practice 15. In MMA, those guys are working their tails off every day, no matter who they are. Like they could be John Jones. John Jones considered the greatest ever. He's still putting in the same amount of work as the guy that's an amateur and hasn't made it yet. So I think that's what's so great about the sport of MMA.
For sure. And it's just like, even more at Glory, it's like a lot of times, you train super hard and then you pick it up even more for fight camp. And with Glory, it's like you're hitting fight camp level practices every day. It's just like everyone, if you're not in there working like everyone else, you're just not going to cut it. You're going to have to move on to somewhere else.
Now, does everyone kind of get the same treatment, like not depending on what level you're at? Like, Grant Dawson, Kevin Kroom, some UFC fighters, but you're still trying to get to that point. Like, is everyone kind of on the same level when you're in the gym?
Oh yeah, for sure. James doesn't pick any favorites. He goes at it. If you want to learn and if you're working hard, he's going to make sure you get the exact same treatment as the biggest guy in the gym.
And what made you choose Glory? So, I mean, I'm assuming like it's not too far away from home, but like what was the reason you went there? I mean, there's so many gyms. I mean, Glory is hot right now, don't get me wrong, but just curious as to how you landed there.
It is only 3 hours from home, but I know a lot of people throughout the MMA community in our area, and it's just like everybody who was coming out of Glory, you could just tell when they came in versus where they're at now, they're just a completely different fighter. You could tell whatever system they were doing was just pushing people to that next level, and I was after getting to the next level.
And you basically walked in there, like you said, not knowing anyone. Like that's obviously got to be kind of terrifying for you. Like, how long did it take before you befriended a lot of people and you became kind of like one of the guys, or did it kind of just hit it off right away?
Yeah, I'm kind of a shy person, like off the jump, but I mean, coming in there and just working hard, like people kind of took notice and showed me the ropes. And so I picked up friends pretty quickly. But I came out here, and my sister lives out here, and that's the only person I knew in KC at the point.
So were you like living with her at that time before?
Yeah, when I first moved up. I moved in with her and was staying with her.
So when we talked to Grant, he said like you guys, we follow him on Instagram. Obviously, you guys go out bowling a lot. He said that he sucks at everything. Who is the best bowler out of your group? So we're actually going to interview a couple more of your buddies. Who is the best bowler?
Oh, I'm for sure the best. I'm everything but fighting. Grant's got me in fighting, but everything else, I'm the best.
I thought it was funny because he was saying like, are you good at anything outside of MMA? And he was like, I'm pretty much terrible at everything except MMA. Are you like athletic, like outside? Did you play sports like at the high school level or college level?
I was a wrestler and a football player. I played football most of my life, and that's actually how I got into wrestling, was through football. Like, heard it was good conditioning and footwork for football. And then, I was a small dude in high school, so I played a lot in high school, but I didn't have the size to go do anything with it. So just transitioned. Started MMA when I was started jiu-jitsu when I was 12, had my first fight at 18.
Is it like a common theme with fighters to just like say they're the best at things because it's just that competitive nature? Like, are you really the best bowler, or are you just, I am the best because that's your, like, every fighter thinks they're the best. That's what you have to be, basically feel like that in any sport.
The only one who might say out of the group that I'm not the best bowler is Cam, and that's just because he's a troll. I'm the best.
I'm going to ask him because we're interviewing him later. I'm going to ask him. And, it's okay if you guys start, fighting right here and wrestling, that's totally cool. It's great for content. So I totally understand.
He's over there looking at me right now, actually. So,
so you guys all, all of you live together, a lot of you live together, and, you guys are all kind of striving for that same goal. What's that like? First off, cutting weight, fight weeks, like that stuff we all know from talking to fighters is crazy. So is it nice to have other people that are going through the same thing and like they help push you to kind of that next level? For sure.
It's real good to like kind of have that accountability a little bit, because none of us really miss practice, but if you're wanting to sleep in that day and you see the other guys getting up and going to practice, you kind of feel obligated to get up and get your butt out of bed and go. So it's just nice to have the accountability and camaraderie. Pretty much the whole time we just pick on each other, but it's a good dynamic.
Are you guys like literally on the same exact schedule? Because I feel like when we were even trying to like time this out, everyone was just like, 1 to 5, I can do it. So is everyone just really just running on the same schedule there?
Yeah, pretty much. Once you get into like the main program, it's like you got to hit these practices every week. If you're not, you're cut. You're not a part of the team. You gotta stick to your schedule. And if something's going on, they're like, "What's up? Like, you about this or not?"
What's in the fridge there? Like, is it just like protein, just like chicken and like nothing else, or are you guys just like picking out like crazy, or do you keep it pretty shit?
We got a pretty bad addiction with Dr. Pepper in the house. That's our bad thing. Usually we're pretty good, but little guy over there, all he eats is McDonald's, but everybody
now, how
else,
the hell
that's not good for weigh-in day.
How the hell does that work? If I eat McDonald's every day, I would have a heart attack. This is not fair.
Because he gets up out of bed and works out.
He's 5'3", so it just goes in and comes out. So.
Oh man, I thought we were short. He could probably still kill us. So we've interviewed a lot of guys from Glory so far. We've had a really good connection. Everyone at that gym is great. Have you ever heard our name in the gym?
I've heard it from Grant. Yeah, I've heard it from Grant. He's talked about you guys. He said you guys are real cool guys and the production's awesome. He loves the show. So yeah, he's talked you guys up.
Are you boys with Kevin Crewman at all too? Because we had him on at one point, and he is just an absolute character. Like, we love that guy.
Man, I wish I had as much personality as that guy. He's awesome. I love Croom to death, and just everybody who's around him just has a good time.
So So kind of what's in the future for you? I mean, have you been affected with COVID at all as far as, because we know like a lot of the smaller promotions have not been able to put on fights or as many fights. So kind of like what's the outlook for you and how have you been affected by COVID?
Yeah, I actually had probably the worst luck with fights last year. I ended up having, I think, 7 cancel on me last year. So it was just like the first 6 months of the year, every month I had a fight cancel. Like first month, guy got injured. Second month, the show got canceled. Third month, COVID hit. So I had 4 or 5 cancel. Then we set one in June, guy backed out because he changed gyms. And it was just like back to back to back. I had all my fights canceled. I ended up getting 2 in the year, so it ended up not being too bad of a year. But yeah, it hit me pretty hard. But I'm hoping to get 4 or 5 wins this year and set myself up for a chance to get a call up next year.
And
So
you, oh no,
go
sorry,
ahead. Go ahead.
I was
Go
going
ahead.
to say, just in the last year, 2020, you went 1-1. Like, did you feel like, training was maybe just like a little bit different because of COVID? Do you think, the last fight that you dropped to Brian McDowell, like, do you think that could have went different had it not been for COVID?
No, I never stopped training. We worked even when, when you had to find a workout. We were always still working. I kept the same schedule twice a day. I was still training every day. But last fight, I felt, and people, if you've watched the fight, I lost in the last 10 seconds of the second round. I had won 9 minutes and 50 seconds before that 10 seconds. Just, you get caught. That's part of the sport. You got to move on and get ready for the next one.
So has there been any news like you think you're going to be fighting again soon?
We're looking. There's nothing set yet, but I'm hoping for March. I would fight every month if I could. If I could get 10 fights in this year, I'd be ecstatic. But realistically, I'm hoping I can get 4 or 5 in this year.
And are you looking like are you, so end goal, is it UFC? Are you hoping Bellator? Like, is there anything? Or have you talked to any of these promotions at all?
Bellator used to do some local shows in Wichita, and some of the local guys would get on there. But I mean, for me, it's kind of UFC or bust. My goal is to get to the UFC and show what I'm made of or nothing. So I haven't really looked at any of the other ones. I think FAC, which I'm fighting for now, and then there's a local promotion in Wichita called EFC, and both of those treat me real well. And I think I'm just gonna keep pushing it at that till I get the call up for something with the UFC.
Yeah, I feel like just the way that Grant went. I think he was Dana White Contender Series, right? And I feel like obviously that's like a great path to go. Like that would obviously be something probably on your radar, because I feel like that's like the moment you get to, and then it's kind of like a make or break fight. So that's probably a good idea, right?
Man. Yeah, I would love the Contender Series, and I think that's the best opportunity that the UFC is putting out right now. I think that was one of the best decisions they've made. Like the people who are going out there and showing out on the Contender Series, they're all doing well in the organization. So yeah, I'm praying that I get a chance on the Contender Series.
How do you become a pro? So like you start out amateur, like what makes you go from amateur to pro? Like what is that process? I'm just curious. I don't really know.
So it's kind of just based on kind of whoever your coach is, really. You have to obviously get an offer from an organization to where you could turn pro, and you want to get a manager who's going to help you get the right contracts and everything. But yeah, it's kind of just a process. When your coach feels you're ready and you've had enough experience as an amateur, they'll set you up to go pro.
And do you fight? You're listed as a welterweight. Is that like typically the weight that you fight at?
Recently, yeah, but I'm dropping down to 155. So
I was gonna say, I feel like, was that like any part of the conversation that you might want to kind of drop weight down to 155 because you're listed at 5'9"? You might have more of like a size advantage if you can make it down that far.
Yeah, I fought at 55 a lot as an amateur. I bounced around between, I fought as high as 185 and as low as 55. But And I kind of bounced around. But yeah, the ultimate goal has always been 55, but I'd gotten a little fat from quarantine, so I had to take another one at 70.
All right, so you go into a fight. All right, you win, huge fight. How are you celebrating? There a special meal? Is there, what are the first, let's say 3 hours after the fight? What are you doing? I know, like, right after the fight, guys want to shower, maybe rest, whatever. Like, what are you doing that night of the win?
Okay, so the first thing, though, is the best night ever is the night after weigh-ins, because you've been killing yourself and you get to go finally have some real food and, not drink water. You can drink something else finally. But after the fight, usually, I have a lot of my family come up. I go spend a little time with them, get hugs, congratulations from everybody. And then, usually go get like the most unhealthy thing you can get, usually fried chicken and pizza. And I just kill that. I don't drink much, but after a win, I'll usually have a little bit to drink, go out and hang out with the friends and just see where the night goes from there. But yeah, it's first thing is the most unhealthy food I can get.
And when you're cutting weight, is it the same as the UFC where the weigh-ins was it the day before? Is that the same thing in like your promotion as well?
Yeah, they're about 24 hours before the show starts. So you get 24 hours to rehydrate and get your weight back on.
Yeah, I feel like if you go down to 155, then you get a full 24 hours. Like you said, you can kind of balloon back up to like 170 in a 24-hour period, right?
Oh yeah, I've gotten pretty big before fights at 55 in 24 hours.
What does your body feel like when you go from 155 to 170 in like a 24-hour period? That has gotta be ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know if it's still on my Instagram, but I used to have a picture from like weigh-ins versus the fight, and it's like crazy difference. I look like a little sunken up skinny guy, and then in the fight, my abs are gone and I got big arms, and it's just like crazy transformation in one day. Like your body just completely changes.
But do you get like
feel
power
weird?
back? Like is your power like physically, like you can feel it stronger like after that?
Oh yeah, like when you're cutting weight, I mean, it hurts to get up out of bed and walk out the door. But once you get rehydrated, everything's perfect. I mean, I don't feel a difference.
Has there like ever been a time where like the weight cut was just too much and you're just like, nah, I can't do it? Because we've been seeing that a lot, especially with like quarantine and everything this year. A lot of guys being hospitalized and everything else because the weight cut is just way too harsh.
Yeah, I had a fight for Tough Enough in Vegas as an amateur, and I was cutting to 55, and it was supposed to be for their amateur belt. And weight was going good. I flew out to Vegas, and my weight just stopped coming off after the flight. And I mean, it was like I was running in the 110-degree heat of Vegas up and down the stairs of the Excalibur for hours and lost like half a pound. And I was just like, nope, not making weight.
See, I feel like you have that side of the spectrum, but then you hear about like Paul Felder or George Masvidal, and they're cutting like 20 pounds in like 2 days. Like, is that just like something natural that some people have and some people don't have?
Yeah, the most I've cut is 40 in a week. So I mean, usually I can get it off, but for some reason I don't know if it was the like dry heat there or what it was, but I just could not sweat. It just was not coming off me.
The water weight was jet lagged.
Yeah, it just wasn't working.
God, 40 pounds in a week. I mean, I need to lose about 40 pounds, but it's going to take me a good like 2 years to probably get that off. Not a week.
After marriage, I gained 40 pounds in a week.
Yeah, don't get married. All right,
You'll never cut weight.
We're going to give you advice now. Don't get married until your fight career is over. You can get a girlfriend, get engaged, but don't get married because when you get married or have kids, it is downhill.
Oh, yeah. It's nowhere in the plans for me yet. So
good.
I think I'll be on that spectrum.
Steve is next.
I feel like Grant did it right because, he's dating a nutritionist. So that's kind of like the hack. Like you got to make it worthwhile at that point.
Yeah, he got the setup. She cooks all of his food and helps him cut weight. I got to do it all on my own. So when I make weight, it's a little more special.
She doesn't
Who's the best cook?
Who in the house or?
Well, Steve asked if she helps any of you guys out when it
Oh,
comes to cutting weight.
for sure. She helps all of us in this house out. I mean, she's awesome. Elle's helped me out, and she's cooked me food before, and she's awesome.
And then I asked, who's the best cook in the house? Who does the majority of the cooking? We know, I don't know who the little guy was, but he eats the McDonald's, so obviously it's not him.
Yeah, we don't really cook much, so like I honestly couldn't tell you. I mean, usually I'm better than them at everything, so it's probably me. But
So how the hell do you guys? What do you eat if no one cooks?
just grocery store food. Just I get these pre-made meals from one of my sponsors. It's called 316 Meal Prep, and that's what I eat most of the time. So
you got the hookup then.
yeah. So I don't got to do much cooking.
Can you give us a quick tip on how to get sponsors? Because we're really trying and no one likes us.
Yeah, I mean, that's the worst thing. You just kind of got to annoy people till they want to get rid of you.
I know, that's what I'm trying. I'm trying to be annoying, but I guess I'm not annoying enough.
Yeah, man. That's what I did before fighting. I was a salesman. I sold cable, and then I was a freight broker. And kind of you just keep calling people till they tell you yes so you'll quit calling them.
Now, what does your family think of you fighting? Like, is it, because I know if I fought, my mom would have a heart attack. So like, what's your family kind of think of it?
I mean, they've all kind of known I was gonna do what I wanted since I was young. I kind of run things, so it was just like I was always the kid who was breaking his glasses, like running into stuff, and like I played 3 football games with a broken arm. They were kind of just used to me being beaten up and battered, so it wasn't much of a change.
You were like, I might as well get paid for it at this point. So
Exactly.
That justifies it.
My mom used to make a joke that if I didn't have a black eye, something was wrong with me. So.
All right, so we don't want to keep you too long, but I'm going to ask a couple silly questions. You got to say them just right off the top of your head. Favorite movie?
Secondhand Lines.
Favorite food?
Crab legs.
What is your walkout song?
It's a song by my little cousin, actually. So it's not, no one's going to really be able to find it. He made me a custom song.
Damn, I was going to ask if I could pick your walkout song, but obviously I can't because I can't beat that. That's 2 fighters in a row now. This is ridiculous. I'm going to get someone to say yes. You have any questions?
No.
Steve?
Favorite UFC fighter?
Of all time is Matt Hughes. Like currently it's Khabib.
And then who do you got this weekend between Calvin and Max Holloway?
I actually think Calvin's going to upset him because I don't think Max is going to try to wrestle him.
Yep, I agree. And then we have obviously Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier. Who do you like in that one?
McGregor by knockout round 2.
Yeah, I'm thinking that too.
So you don't think it's going to happen in 60 seconds, like you said?
No. I think bigger Dustin's got a little better chin.
Last question, and I've been kind of wanting to ask this. I kept forgetting. I remember now. Is there any fighter in the UFC currently right now that you feel like you match up well with, and that you think like, okay, my UFC debut, I think I would like this fight, and I would match up well with them?
Mickey Gall or Brock Weaver? I think I beat both of them in the first round.
Oh, I like that.
Brock Weaver, yeah, he's a little
scummy.
He's had a tough start, yeah.
And Brock Weaver is scummy. I would love for you to destroy that dude. He's known for dogfighting. How does Dana keep him in the UFC? It's ridiculous.
Exactly. So if somehow he ever sees this, once he gets cut, I'll take him outside the UFC too.
Let's go.
Sick. Listen, we have a shirt coming around that'll be at Glory MMA at the end of the month. We're going to be doing a giveaway to some fans. Make sure you sign the shirt.
Let's go. I got you. No doubt.
Hey man, thanks for joining us. We really, really appreciate it. We'd love to have you back on. Best of luck with everything. We really hope that 2021, no more fighters backing out, none of that garbage. We want you to fight a bunch of times. Hopefully get that record nice and padded, and I'd love to see you in the UFC sometime soon.
Thank you, man. Yeah, anytime you guys want to sit down and talk, I'll be available. Just one in 5.
Between 1 to 5.
All right, sounds good.
Set up a camera where you are right now, and we'll have someone to talk to at some point.
Yep. Well, I'll just leave it running. There will be people walking by all day.
That would kind of be funny. I think that would make for great content.
Yeah, if our conversations got recorded, we'd probably get in trouble. So
Fair enough.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Coffee and KO's crew has called an end to this interview, declaring the winner by ground and pound TKO, Devin Webber.
let's go.
Once again, thanks for joining us, Devin. We really appreciate it. Guys, if you enjoyed this interview, you can find us on Twitter and Instagram at Coffee and KO's 1. And this was Coffee and KO's Outside the Octagon. We'll see you next time.